Hi guys, here we're going to look over the EarthSculptures website and check out how to administrate it. So first you're going to notice that we're on the main page, and that's just the earthsculpturesinc.com. So right off the bat, just to say a couple of the traits here, basically that the website will resize depending on whatever size the browser is. So that's really an advanced feature, pretty awesome, and it'll actually show up good on mobile phones as well, so that's capturing a big market. So first off, you'll see the logo here and all that, and you can click through any of these pages. They all represent different pages, a single page that is made to administer them in the back end. So like, for example, if we're looking at this page and you want to change some things on it, that'll be one specific page called About and Services on the back end as well. So what we can do here, you can visit the other URL that's to administer the site, or on this page we can just press escape, and they have a feature here that's going to allow us to just log in here. And let me grab the password. Alright, so put in the email and the password to administer it. These can be changed on the other end, so, and you can hit this checkbox or not. I suggest don't check it if you're on a computer that other people will use, as they'll be able to log into this page and change things. Of course, rarely somebody would want to do that, but they might do it on accident. So here we see the back end, and this will be a lot different looking. You'll have to learn the layout of this if you want to change anything. For example, here on the home page, that's going to represent, of course, the home page that's here, marked home. And what we're first seeing there is that these are the pictures. So, of course, here that the pictures that go through the slideshow. So you can click this and choose a new picture to add onto there. So once, if you ever want to do that, you can change the pictures, change the order of them, and all that. So let's say we want this to be the first photo that shows up. That really looks like a nice one. So then let's say we want to change some of the other pages. We can just click on those, and for example, we were just looking at this page a minute ago and thinking about changing this. So we can just go in there and change it. These are basic, kind of like Microsoft Word type text altering here. So you can check an area and add a feature to it, or change the type of text it is and all that. So, and just type as normal, add bullets, all this kind of stuff. So basically, this is a block. See, I can hover over this. This is a block on the page, and then here's a block on the page. You can see the light gray line around it. So these are going to be basically different areas, I guess, where we can add different things. For example, here's a block that just says contact us. Here's a block that's just the actual contact form for them to fill in, and this is the block that has all this about EarthSculptures information in it. We can delete the block, just click that and delete the whole block, or add a new one. You add a new block. There's quite a few different options here. If you guys do get a video, I definitely suggest to put that on the page. Audio is a great thing to add onto the page if you record the owners or some testimonials, some people actually speaking their testimonials. That is a great thing to do as well. Some of these you won't understand the markdown or code. Most likely you'll never need those. And then we have structure stuff here. Most of this is not really necessary. Maybe the calendar, if you want to maybe put the calendar on here and have people be able to look and see what days are available. And then the social links, if you do set up some social websites to post to, you'll want to add the social links in. So let's just do a calendar for the fun of it. And so here you can see the calendar options, and you can choose what it's going to show on there. This calendar is just going to show the blog updates and things like that, so it won't really make too big of a difference. But what we can do is take a look and see, you know, how to look at the page once you've changed it. So what you can do is just click the eyeball over here, and here you'll be taken to the page that shows the changes, and here's the calendar there at the bottom. So for example, let's say we don't want the calendar, so we can go over here and click Manage Page. Sometimes it won't say Manage Page, it'll have this on there. So either way, to change the looks of it, you can click the paintbrush, but to change the content, you can click the pen button, pencil, and then Manage Page. So that's going to take us back to this interface where we can come back here and right click on this block and remove it. So there we go, that's managing that page. The things will be automatically saved and updated as you work if you do change things. So in this way you can come in and make changes really easily. For example, if we wanted to come in here and say, I believe this is a that's a grammatical error there, so change that. Although of course that could be argued, because if you have more than one expectation, then I guess it could be plural. So one of those grammatical predicaments there. So next, after that, we learned how to look at changing the content, so we can go back and take a view of it, look over some other pages. For example, we can look through here, and these have a special setup. These are testimonials, and there are pictures there beside them, so we'll take a look at that. So click Manage Page there. We can see the blocks starting to show up when I hover over them. There's this block here, and we can see that when I click on it, this is highlighted H2, which means it's just a heading of the secondary nature. This is heading first nature, so it just changes the kind of the importance of the text, basically. So here, this is a quote, and this was a quote that was inserted. So this is a special way of doing that. So this is when you click Add Block and click Quote, then that's actually going to insert something like this, where you can add what the quote was, and then who said it, and then save that. So that makes a special formatting for the text in there. Next, you can look at the pictures here. These, when I click on it, you can see that it's float to the right, center, don't float, or float to the left. So let's take a look at that. We can add block, do an image. You can add an image from your computer, or you can click one that's already here in the page by adding a block of the gallery. So in the gallery, that will actually let us choose a picture that's already in an existing gallery. So for example, let's choose this existing gallery as the content, and we can choose how they're laid out, how the thumbnails look, if they're square or rectangular, or the original ratio, and the light box, which I like the light box. I recommend that. So there we have that, and we can take a look at the page, see how that looks. So here are the images laid out there, and this is the light box when you click on them, it gives you this gallery style view of it. So if we don't want that, we can click there, and if you want to remove it, you can right click on it and remove, or you can just come here and, for example, we can do a slideshow. And let's do that slideshow and go back to take a view of it. And there's the slideshow of the images, and I think that's a good addition actually to leave at the bottom there. So that way they can have a look at the completed courses there. Alright, so back to manage the page. You can just go through any of these. The blog is probably the one you'll be changing the most, and you just come in here, click on the blog, then click add post. You can enter the post title, enter the post information, make the changes to the text as you see here. If you have a link, for example, to an offsite, this is the link button, and you just enter the URL there. Offsite links aren't the best to have though, because people leave your web page, so that's the problem with those. And of course there are options. You can add images to it. You can change the author if there are other authors in the blog, and make it a featured post, or make the title link off page or off site. It is good to add links on site though. If you add a link and make it go to somewhere else on your website, those are good things for Google and for the users to hop around your site when they're reading something and you mention something and they want to look at it, but then they have to go find it. You can just click a link and they can pop right over there. So you can add the social media accounts if you have social media accounts, and that'll actually send the content automatically out to those media accounts. So that's a really good thing to have, and so you have all those options for adding posts, which is great. Definitely a good thing to do a lot of posts. Another great thing is the activity here, and you can look and see hourly, daily, weekly, monthly of people who are visiting your site, how people are visiting your site. February, there's all these page views. March, there's these many page views. You can see what's visiting. Unique visitors is mainly what you want to look at. Average of pages would be the 59 here, and that's a really good amount of page views for each visitor. And you can even look at what browsers they're using, operating systems. The good thing is all these systems and the robots can look at this website really easily because it's programmed on the underside, programmed in a really great way for that to work out. The refers is not here yet. It's probably not been live long enough yet, but that would tell you who is actually sending you the information. And here you can see what they're looking at the most, so you can know like what to add or change, or what pages aren't really getting any interaction on them. And then this detailed activity of IP addresses and all this. Most of this you won't really need to know. Then here are main site settings. This is to change the title, and for example, I can hover over that and look at EarthSculptures renovation and construction, and that is of course what we're seeing right here. So this is going to be I'm going to add a little bit of keyword assistance there. Golf course renovations, golf course renovations. And I'll add the area as well. I think you guys are in Indio. Yeah. So then here is the description of your site. This all says, you know, what these areas are, the meta description. This is what Google is looking for, and the logo and the smaller logo, and what the website should be categorized as, your contact phone number, your contact email, and all of that. So I'll change this contact email because that was actually an email that we didn't have space to set up. So after that, this page, of course, says save settings there. It doesn't save the settings automatically. And also we have all this information down here on the left. So if we do Google Analytics, I'd suggest that. Sign up for Google Analytics. We can do that as well if you would like to talk to Peter about it. And then some other things, some information you don't need, other things that I've set up here, and most of this is getting a little deeper than we want to go. The social media accounts and things like that. You can add contributors if you'd like to make someone else able to log in and do blog posts. So for example, you can put their name in there, email address, what they can do, content editor, etc., etc. And that way you can have someone else who doesn't have full access to change things on the site, but just can log into the blog and add content there, which is really good. Alright, so that's basically the majority of it and how to make this happen. And the commerce is something that, unless you're selling things online, you won't need that part. Alright, that's the introduction to the back-end interface of the website, and thanks a lot. I've enjoyed working with you guys, and you know, I appreciate you working with us and working so well, and we got everything set up. Verizon was a little bit of trouble, but other than that, we get it all worked out. So thanks a lot, and talk to Peter about anything that you have questions about, and he'll be contacting you as time goes on about some other options that we can work with you on. Thanks a lot.